The 90s gave us some of the best music that has ever been made. Impeccable songwriting, innovative beats, and talented artists were the norm. The competition was stiff, and entertainers had to rely on their raw talent in order to be successful. You had the soulful divas of In Vogue, the sweet harmonies of SWV, and the classy yet sensual sound of Changing Faces. Backed by some of the hottest producers and songwriters, Changing Faces brought smooth vocals to songs like Stroke You Up and Foolin' Around. But their time as a duo was brief. Within a period of 6 years, they released 3 studio albums before creative differences tore them apart. Don't forget, you can gain access to this audio and one unreleased super ratchet video per month on the Real Reality Gossip Patreon. Details can be found down below in the description box. Now let's get into what really happened to Changing Faces. New York natives Charisse Rose and Cassandra Lucas met as students at LaGuardia High School of Performing Arts. Cassandra told R&B Junkie Official they started doing little gigs on the side and went on auditions to become background singers. They landed a gig with the singer Sybil, and from there, they decided to create their own singing group, and their friend Charisse Carter became their manager. It was just the 2 of them in the group, which was uncommon during that time. Most of the influential R&B groups all had multiple members, and that's what the industry preferred. Charisse told the Chicago Tribune, "We were told by 4 different record labels that they weren't interested in us because men need to look at more than 2 women singing." They didn't let those harsh words stop them. After graduating from high school, they enrolled in college and continued perfecting their soprano voices. In 1993, their manager set them up to meet with Kenny Smooth Cornegay, the president of Spoiled Rotten Entertainment. Kenny agreed to work with them, and he was also working on a joint venture with Big Beat Atlantic Records that could really help the women's careers. Kenny arranged for them to sing for one of the label's execs named Craig Coleman. Cassandra told You Know I Got Soul website they were late to their audition, so they ended up singing for Craig on a street corner. Everything worked out in the end, and they were signed on with Atlantic Records. Before they got started on their first album, they were asked to write down a list of all the producers they wanted to work with. They wrote down Babyface and Robert Kelly, a young and talented musician out of Chicago who was making waves with R&B group Public Announcement. Their label wasn't sure if Robert would agree to work with them since they were unknown in the industry, but Charisse and Cassandra kept the faith. They sent a copy of their demo to Robert, and once he heard it, he was interested. Cassandra said they were so excited that everything from then on was somewhat of a blur. Hailing from East Harlem, she was just a young girl who had dreams of hearing her voice on the radio. Little did she know that dream would come true in the blink of an eye. They were able to show off their writing skills on many tracks, but the most popular songs came courtesy of Robert. They were able to work with him before his solo album 12 Play was released, and they discovered how insanely talented he was. However, things in the studio got a little uncomfortable. Cassandra told Madame Noir that at the beginning of Stroke You Up, she had to whisper seductively before the beat dropped. She told the website she had to re-record the intro about 8 times because she couldn't stop laughing. After a while, she got into a groove and became more comfortable. Her first venture outside of her own comfort level actually helped her grow as an artist. Robert wrote and produced 2 more songs, Foolin' Around and All Is Not Gone. Devontae Swing brought his signature keyboard sound to the risque song Keep It Right There. And Heavy D co-produced the up-tempo track, Baby Your Love. Their self-titled debut album was released in August 1994 and was certified gold. Their label called them in for a meeting and told them, "You know who called the office? Prince." The women were shocked to find out that the legendary artist was calling around trying to figure out who the heck was Changing Faces. Cassandra said that's when a light bulb went off. She realized at that point that she and Charisse were on top of the world. They felt so accomplished and were able to prove industry execs wrong. They were an R&B duo that didn't have to dress provocatively, and they could really sing. Charisse and Cassandra rode the success of their first album for a few years, but they also appeared on the 1996 High School High soundtrack with their song, I Got Somebody Else. They finally headed back to the studio to work on their follow-up project. All Day, All Night hit store shelves in May 1997. Thanks to their rendition of Cyndi Lauper's song Time After Time, All of My Days featuring Jay-Z, and the Robert Kelly track Get Out, which peaked at number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100, the album was certified gold just months after its release. In between going on the road to perform, their songs popped up on more movie soundtracks, such as their song Same Tempo, which was included on the Players Club soundtrack, and Do Little Things featuring Ivan Matias for the film Dr. Dolittle. Changing Faces' third studio album, Visit Me, was released in October 2000. The leading track by the same name was produced by Robert Kelly, and R&B singer Joe stepped up to produce and co-write the song The Other Woman. The album also included the romantic track Come Over. Unfortunately, the album didn't even make a splash on the charts. Cassandra told You Know I Got Soul website that Atlantic Records was growing, and they had a full plate of really talented artists like Aaliyah and Brandy. She said, sometimes music can get caught up in the shuffle and not get as promoted as the previous albums. Changing Faces found themselves being ushered to the side of the industry to make way for younger girl groups like Destiny's Child, and they soon found out the harsh truth about the industry. Their track Come Over, off their album Visit Me, barely received any attention when the album was released. However, they watched as the song rose to the top of the charts when Aaliyah's version of the song was released following her August 2001 passing. Cassandra told You Know I Got Soul website that Aaliyah recorded the song first, but Changing Faces purchased the track, and Aaliyah didn't. After Aaliyah's untimely passing, the label found Aaliyah's version of Come Over in the archives and decided to release the song as a single. Cassandra said she didn't mind that they never received the accolades they deserved for the song. After that, Changing Faces disappeared. Cassandra told R&B Junkie Official that not only were she and Charisse going in two different directions creatively, but they were battling with their label as well. She said there were a lot of promises being made that the label didn't keep on its end, so they grew more and more frustrated. She had this to say in an interview with Doggy Diamonds TV.
After the things didn't go as planned and things didn't go as promised, we couldn't do it. And that was third album. We already dealt with it the album prior to that. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, okay, we're not seeing eye to eye. And that was, we were at our wits' end because the business started getting in the way. And now all of you work for, you have an album sitting here that's not going to get the publicity it needs.
She and Charisse decided it was time to take some time to themselves. We didn't hear from them again up until 2009 when their song Crazy Love was leaked on the internet. They also attempted to reunite several times throughout the years. Cassandra promised that their fourth studio album would be released in the spring of 2012, but that never happened. They released the single Hate Love in 2013, but the song wasn't well received. Charisse told Marty A. Johnson that they were funding the single themselves, and when it came time to film a music video, she didn't see the point in dropping more money into a song that wasn't performing well. When she expressed this concern to Cassandra, things grew icier between them. Charisse said she sent Cassandra a text telling her to reach out when she was ready to work together as a team. Cassandra has released several songs under her CRC Music imprint, a company she co-owns with her husband, Noel Absalom, and another partner. In 2019, she dropped her solo album, Long Way Home, The Intro. And in July 2020, she told The Hype magazine that she started taking Harvard courses during quarantine to keep herself busy. Charisse told Marty A. Johnson that she has been performing ever since Changing Faces' last album was released. But as for the duo coming back together and creating more music, it's unlikely. They still insist that they love each other like sisters, but Cassandra has made it clear that a Changing Faces reunion won't be happening anytime soon. Let us know if you're surprised by what happened to Changing Faces, and thanks for watching Real Reality Gossip.